Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Super Stock Bros. My name is Ace, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 SPACs to be looking into this week. All right, before we get into the top 5 SPACs, let's talk about the news over the weekend. It's good to keep up with the SPAC news so that you know what the sympathy plays are and everything like that, what to look out for the next industrial changes, and then you can hop on the next trend. So first, there was a definitive agreement announcement between the Peridot and Lease Cycle. So Peridot is PDAC, and they are set to have an agreement with Lease Cycle. So that's very interesting. The SPAC is already up on this play. Now, this was not on my radar. I had been looking into it, but I decided not to buy it just because I don't really know the management team that well. But it seems like they have a pretty good strategy. You need to recycle these lithium ion batteries, so this space is pretty huge. Interesting to look into. Not my play, but good to keep track of these lithium ion recyclers, right? And we'll see what other sympathy plays there are out there later this week. Okay, so the next big thing that happened on the weekend, Owlet was set to go public with SBG, which is the Sandbridge SPAC. So this is a very interesting one. We're seeing more and more telehealth and health-related mergers. That's because health is a big space to be disrupted. There's a lot of innovative technologies that are coming out and a lot of disruption to be had because, I worked in the industry myself. It's a lot of paper and pen still, which is very interesting, and a lot of things could go wrong. Now, Owlet is specifically focused on baby monitors and baby nursing data, essentially. So very interesting SPAC. I think it's going to be here for the future. It's not, I don't want to say it's like a stock that's really hot. So, you can keep track of it, keep track of the sector. Very interesting revenue projections here. I mean, very easy to just say what you think is going to happen, but they're only trying to capture a small part of the market and including branching out globally into different countries and changing to language specific purposes. Very interesting. Focused on North America right now, but it's a very interesting market. So that's the other one. And the one that actually we're going to be touching on today, there is talks between Origin Materials and Ardius SPAC. So I mentioned Ardius SPAC in the other video that we had on Friday. So Ardius SPAC is AACQ, and already it is up huge in the pre-market. You can actually see that AACQ is up 18%, and the warrants themselves are up 60%. So, I mean, it's getting pretty crazy here, but that is why it is on our top 5 SPACs list. So let's check it out. So our top 5 SPACs are CCIV. So CCIV already had a huge run up. I wasn't expecting this run up to happen so quickly, quite frankly. And I think people were buying into the weekend because they believed the weekend, it was a long weekend. So they were expecting maybe there was going to be a merger announcement. They didn't want to miss it. That's my personal suspicion. So it shot up, 30%. Right now, it's settling down a little bit just because there was no merger announcement. So CCIV is coming back down. It's 38 though. That's a lot more than what we said. So on 30, it was 32 when I mentioned it on Friday. Still good to look into, good to keep track of. I will buy it if it goes lower. Unfortunately, my bounds are increasing. So I said before 30, possibly way more at 25. It touched 30, but it didn't hit 25. That's okay. We can jump on the next boat. I'm going to wait for it to go a little bit lower. Of course, there is the downside risk. It might fall down to $10 if there is no merger, but it's very unlikely at this point. It's almost a done deal between them and Lucid. So the next one to look up, we got PSAC. Okay, so this one's an interesting one. It's Faraday. I think when the CCIV merge goes through, PSAC will have some sympathy with it because this is another EV company, EV vehicle with Faraday. So that's an interesting one. I'm still keeping track of it. I still have my position, which is I have 2,000 warrants. So still in there at my entry price was $395. So actually, you can get it cheaper than me right now if you'd like. I really do think the warrants are undervalued right now, but we'll see what happens. And I'm hoping it plays off the sympathy of CCIV. Next up, we have PSTH. So this is the Pershing. This is the Bill Ackman stock. Now, this one also shot up about 10%, not too crazy. And I also think this is a higher value than the other stocks right now because, if you invest, you could possibly lose 50. It's good to always think about your downside. You could possibly go down to $20. That is the net asset value. Now, the thing with this stock is that as soon as they announce a merger, and it's going to be a big one, then it's going to shoot up to about 60, in my opinion, I think. So it's still good to get into. Now, the timeline is the thing that you have to worry about a little bit here. Bill Ackman says before the end of Q1, but who knows if he's, and that's why I think it's going up by 10% because people are preparing for the end of Q1 here. You still have a month to go, though. So we'll see what happens there. AACQ, we mentioned this last time. This was on our watch list. AACQ seemed like it had a merger in place or deals to talk about, and it looks like it happened. I think there's still some upside to go. I think AACQ merging with Origin Materials, they do all of the recycling of plastic bottles and stuff like this, and making the earth green and clean. That's a pretty big deal. You can ride it up a little bit more. I'd say it's poised to go to about 20 over the next few months. So if you want to ride it, keep on riding it. I prefer to get in before the announcement, but that's just me. So IPOF, another one that's rising up just off of sympathy of other stocks, of other SPACs specifically. I would keep holding on to IPOF if you have it. If not, create a low position. I would say for the warrants, get in at about 450 or $5 is okay, but I'd get in at about 450 if you can. There's always time. If they don't announce a merger, then it's just sitting there and you can wait for it to cool off. If they do announce the merger, then the train is left without you. But sometimes it's better just to let it go and then you can wait for the next one. Because like I said, with Chamath, you know what's coming. He's gonna release all of the IPO alphabet from A to Z. So you have a lot of time here. Our plays typically are 1 to 3 months, and you're looking to double up your money. And if you do that 6-7 times, you can turn 5 or 10K into $1 million. So that's the play. All right. So that's it for me. I want to mention a little bit for IPOD. So IPOD, if they find a merger target before IPOF, my personal gamble is IPOF. But if IPOD finds it, then IPOF will also go up. So it's not that bad. IPOD, I like a little bit less because IPOF has more money. So they have a bigger deal potential. All right, Super Stock Bros. So that's it for me. So these are the top 5 SPACs I'm swinging today. We have CCIV, PSAC, which is Faraday. We have PSTH, which is the Pershing Holdings. That is the Bill Ackman SPAC that might announce something before the end of the quarter. We have AACQ, which actually just had some rumors swirling around with Origin Materials about a merger to come onto the market. And we have IPOF, which I've always been swinging. This is the Chamath special. I'm waiting for that merger announcement where it's going to boom up to 20. So that's what we're doing this week. Good luck to everyone, and let's make those gains.